Hi YouTubers, Roy Marko here with Marko Custom Models. I just want to talk about this 65 Mustang that I started on. It's a kit that I got that was partially put together by somebody, and then somebody else I know took it and sort of repainted it. And then they gave up on the model, and it was sort of destined to just sort of sit and collect dust. And I had this hood off the other Mustang project in my other video where I'd put stock quarters onto the race car that was altered wheelbase for 65 Mustang body, and then with this hood and this body, it was kind of boring looking. So I with the hood and the body, and I sort of had this vision of making like a Mustang gasser, and this is where I'm at with it. So the paint job on it right now is not my paint job. This is one from the previous owner of this model, and who tried to sort of fix it, and he was doing some detail work and sanding, and anyway he sort of gave up on it. So I wanted to take it and do something with it. So I thought with this hood and these wheels and tires, I would make something cool out of it, and I kind of fell in love with it. It has a really, to me, a good look. So I'll pop it apart here and show you what I've done. This is took a lot of work to get this done. These are the velocity stacks, and this is the way they come. They sort of, they're chrome, but if you start taking them off, you're going to leave a lot of plastic showing on them, and yeah, they're not perfectly round a little bit. So I actually took each one of these velocity stacks, and I chucked them in a little drill, and I spun them, and I used sandpaper, and I took a drill and I drilled them as deep as I could possibly get them. And I think when I get some aluminum paint on this, it's going to look pretty good. So I'm kind of excited to do that and see where that goes. And so that's with the plastic stacks. You can buy aluminum ones. There's companies out there that make them, but it's kind of neat to do it with plastic. So it's kind of neat to try and get a nice set of velocity stacks that way. So I think I'm happy with it. And the body, just your basic body. The firewall, I used styrene, and I glued it to the tub of the interior to get it to sort of sit right. Yeah, this model is not a great fitting model by any means. It started its life probably as a promo, and then from there it's been released about 150 times. So it's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's been released a few times. This is the one that was modeled in blue plastic, the same blue plastic that actually I used for the rear quarters on my other one. As you can see, somebody painted this interior red. At one point the seats were glued down, and then they were taken out for the restoration process. I actually took one of these Mustangs a while ago and made a convertible out of it because it had the right top and pieces of the rear inside panels. Then I actually gave that model to my friend who finished it off. But anyway, so that's the interior tub. The body, the only real modification I did was radius the wheel wells by taking the sort of the trim off so it follows the tires. And I glued in on that other one where I glued in some plastic to finish off the inside of the fenders, and it gives it a way to hold the hood in place quite nicely so it doesn't fall off the model, and then you don't have a big gap. And this, I sanded the hood to fit in there. It was a little bit bigger than the opening was a little bigger than the hole in the body. And for the chassis, as you can see, there's some glue marks where somebody had glued this together, and I've sanded and taken some things off. And I got these headers in here and the engine together. And what I did was I just glued a piece of hollow tubing in there, put an axle through. I'll do a little bit of maybe front leaf spring detail or hairpins or something other than that, and then touch this chassis up. I really like how this was done, so I'm just gonna keep the paint on the rest of it and just touch it up, and then touch up the underside of the hood here. The motor, or engine I should say, is a big I think it's the SOC motor, the single overhead cam Ford engine that you could only buy as a crate engine, never came in any production vehicle. That's made it to a manual transmission. And I just made these motor mounts. I drilled into the block, and then I'll paint them black after I paint up the engine. And I made this little piece off the back of the tail shaft of the transmission that'll fit in there, and then that just fits right in there like so. And so getting that lined up with the interior, and then with the body, so that's the way it fits together there. So I think it went together quite nice. The rear wheel wells, you can see, are radiused to the tire. And yeah, to get the engine lined up, and then lined up with the velocity stacks to line up with the hood was pretty good. It was a bit of a job, but I pulled it off. And I think this will be a cool build when it's finished. I can't wait to sort of finish this one up, but I'm stuck on what color to paint it. I don't know if I should keep with the red or do a color change on it. So maybe leave a comment if you think of something that this car would look good in. I'd love to hear your feedback. And if you like what I do, please subscribe, and let's keep watching. Hey, have a good day. Thanks. Bye.